Last 18 months, my life has totally unravelled.
Shamed, disgraced Phillip Schofield.
I locked myself away from the outside world.
Over 3 nights and 3-hour-long episodes, Phillip Schofield has been bearing his soul in new Channel 5 show Castaway. And it's basically a chance for the former This Morning host to explain the circumstances that saw him leave the programme last year. To put it mildly, he left under something of a cloud, admitting he'd had a fling with a much younger runner on the programme. But in the C5's show, he presents his own version of events, one which is at odds with the narrative that emerged at the time. Last year, he was portrayed as a man who'd had an unwise affair, who'd resigned as a result, and had let many of his colleagues down.
You know you've let yourself down, and you know that, you know, it was an unwise and unprofessional thing to do.
But in Castaway, Phillip insists he was fired by ITV, and not for the affair, but because of the bad publicity that surrounded the crimes of his paedophile brother. He summed it up best when he claimed he'd been pushed under a bus.
You know what it feels like to be cancelled and to be coldly reported in headline news.
After watching Castaway, what you're left with is something rather confusing, however. Did Phillip think he'd done something wrong by having the fling with the runner, or not? For example, he said he wouldn't have been slammed for it quite so hard if it were a heterosexual fling. Phillip said he would have received a pat on the back for having an affair with a woman. That infers that the only thing wrong with it was that it was a same-sex fling. So why does he also say, "I will be forever sorry, I screwed up, I made a mistake"? The answer, I suspect, is that the whole affair was such a murky business. There were so many blurred lines around appropriateness, professionalism, and honesty. The only firm conclusion you can draw from the show is that Phillip himself isn't entirely sure to what extent he was guilty of wrongdoing.
Cancellation is a funny old thing because, you know, if you're cancelled, then that's it. I assume you're dead. You can't do anything.
Amid the confusion, what will the viewing public think? I suspect that this will leave those who disliked Phillip feeling even more suspicious of him. Those who backed him, however, will feel reassured too. But those who still aren't sure what to think will be none the wiser.